The education field was the field that called me. And when it called me, I loved it, especially dealing with children with special needs.
A lot of times I would finish my assignment before a lot of my other classmates, and once I finished, they'd ask me questions. Dorothea, help me with this. And so I just found myself being a little helper even back in elementary school, and I was 7 years old when I decided that I wanted to be a teacher.
I was a first generation student, college student, and I have a lot of those students. And it's amazing when you don't know something, you don't know. And I have information, and so I share that information gladly to help others achieve.
I really wanted to help those students that came from in the inner city, similar to where I come from, growing up in East St. Louis.
My mom decided to put me in a more diverse population for education, and so in 6th grade I started in the desegregation program. And right away I seemed like an oddball and I didn't fit in. And it was a very uncomfortable situation for me because I was used to excelling in everything.
I actually had a really good experience. I was working as a truancy officer when I first got out of college, and I was working in some schools, and it was a young man that I helped tutor for math, and he wrote me a letter, and it really inspired me. And I've never worked in a field where I can get immediate feedback and then, you know, leave inspired like that. And so I kept looking into it, and next thing you know, I was a special ed teacher in Chicago after that. So that's where it began.
Music is my passion. Music is my life. I began playing drums at age 4. My father was a musician. My mother's side of the family, my grandmother was a musician. It is still a musician. And so music has just always been in my home, playing on Saturday mornings, going to jazz concerts at a very young age.
As educators, we have an awesome opportunity each and every day to impact and enrich the lives of students. That is just so, paramount to me and so important, because our students they will be taking care of us in the future. So, we want to make sure we get it right.
As a teacher, I never forget that it's the student who is the center of attraction. And after you remove all of the other external factors, it's about that child, it's about that student. And I don't try to move away from that.
Children have been diagnosed with behavior disorders, but when they come to me, that changes. They have those characteristics. However, they start finding who they are, their identity, and they start molding themselves to better people and better persons, better productive citizens through the skills and techniques. And I also tell them their self-worth. When they know their self-worth, it changes the mindset of the children I serve.
I believe that every student has it in them to be successful in whatever it is that they want to do. I think that they just need a little push, and they need love and care, and every student is looking for structure and discipline, and they want to know that somebody really cares for them.
Misery and not knowing and having no hope is a terrible feeling to have. I don't know if you've ever been there, if anyone that you know been there, but not having hope is something, and sometimes just a glimmer of hope can push someone over the top. And so I will not hold anyone back, but I will give a boost wherever I can.
I didn't realize that not intentionally, I was forcing my students to be who I was. I would force upon them, you have to speak correct, otherwise people aren't going to respect you. You have to use proper grammar, otherwise you're not going to get the jobs that you're trying to get. And the success in me having students who are able to advocate and speak up for themselves came when they challenged me. And they were like, well, who says that the way I speak is not proper? Who says that I'm incorrect or that I won't be able to? Who made that rule? And so we just had to really spend some time with that. And while we were spending time with that, my initial reaction was to just shut it down. But then I realized, no, we need to unpack this. And it had everything to do with my experiences. And so from that came an academy that I created, Children Having Academic Talks.
If we don't, evolve with the culture, then, that disconnect it's gonna just, the gap is gonna widen. So, it's a lot of work that we have to do, with just keeping up with the newest trends on social media, even music, anything that I can do to relate, I'm doing it.
I have people that are in flight school. I have students that are engineers. I have students that are mathematicians. So there's a lot that you can learn in music that you can apply to everyday life. And that's my goal, to show concepts that they can use not only in band, but in life after high school.
So often with those science and math fields, it's an old cliche that usually only men go into that area, and that is not true. We really need more young women, especially African Americans, in those fields because there is a shortage.
In the inner city, a lot of them are kind of standoffish to science. It's a lot of the technical verbiage kind of seems to get them sometimes. So there is a little bit of resistance, but it's always interesting when we see the light bulb goes off, when they can make the real life connections to whatever the topic is we're talking about.
Sometimes I stop teaching because it might be a topic they want to talk about, and we discuss it. I put the education books, I'll say the books to the side. Let's talk about real life. Let's talk about critical thinking and problem solving. How do we deal with this? Because I know you're going through this. How can I help you in this way?
We need this organic space to talk about dialect and culture and identity, and we've related that to things that we're studying with our literature as well as current events.
In universities, I think when instructors, administrators, people see that students are willing to give an effort, they're willing to meet them, okay?
I want them to remember that I love them and that I come from a place where everything that I did, it was always for their best interest, even if they didn't understand.
I'm thankful to our parents that have entrusted, us to help guide their students' lives. So I'm thankful.
I try to build a relationship with every student. Right now we have 45 students in the band, and I know everybody by name. I know their mothers, I know their fathers. It's a brotherhood and a sisterhood.
It's about that community and that relationship, building that relationship with students. So even the students that, perhaps may be the most difficult behavior problem, once they know that you care about them and that you love them, the sky is the limit.